everybody. Today we're going to talk about acceptance of tattoos in the workplace. I want to start out by asking you a couple questions. You see a man with tattoos walking towards you down the sidewalk. What do? You see a man in a suit walking towards you down the sidewalk. What do? By the end of our time together today, I'm hoping that you will agree with me that tattoos should be openly accepted in the workplace without discrimination. I have personally experienced discrimination in the workplace because of my tattoos, and I have witnessed and also researched discrimination of tattoos in the workplace. I feel that tattoos should be openly accepted in the workplace, and today I'm going to talk to you about that by going over tattoos, history and meaning, the fact that tattoos do not change your intelligence level or your ability to perform a job, and that tattoos should be treated just as any other type of workplace diversity. Let's start out with talking about the history of tattoos. Because before we can accept, we must first understand. Egyptian women had tattoos. In terms of tattoos on actual bodies, the earliest known examples were from long-time Egyptian female mummies that dated back to 2000 BC. The tattooing of ancient Egyptian women had a therapeutic role and functioned as a permanent form of amulet during a very difficult time of pregnancy and birth. Tattoos also had a military meaning. It was a record of travels or for good luck. American sailors were originally tattooed to record where they had sailed and as a talisman for good luck. Now let's talk about some faux facts about tattoos. Not every person with a tattoo has been to prison, is a gang member, a prostitute, a thug. They couldn't possibly be a medical professional. They're not a business executive. I'm not saying that these can't be true, but the reality of it is people without tattoos can be all of the above. Tattoos are a form of expression and meaning for people. And it's this simple. Each person has a reason for that tattoo. It's usually a personal reason, or the person just likes art. Personally, I have both. And most importantly, it shouldn't matter why or where the art is. It's their prerogative, and it doesn't affect the workplace. Now that you understand a little more about the history of tattoos and their meaning, let's talk about how it doesn't change one's intelligence level or their abilities to perform their job. Having a tattoo does not change one's intelligence or abilities to perform a job. Let's talk about the facts. 29% of Americans have at least one tattoo, and that number is growing. 40% of people ages 18 to 29 have a chance of having a tattoo. That's a large number. Those are many potential candidates that are not being considered for a job just because they have a tattoo. And 60% of employers are reporting that visible tattoos would have a negative impact on someone getting hired. That's really frightening to me. We're basing who we hire on a look versus their education, their qualifications, experience, and work ethic. Now I have another question for you. If you were having surgery, would you want the tattooed doctor that graduated at the top of his class, or the doctor with no tattoos that finished with a C average? I really don't think there's a question there, but I would want the most qualified person performing my surgery. Looks mean nothing when a life is dependent on it. Now let's talk about diversity. It's time for a change. Workplaces have the option of putting policies in place, saying, yes, we will hire you, but please cover your tattoos in the workplace. As a person with a tattoo, I would not be offended. I would be more offended that you chose not to hire me and that you never even asked me if I would cover up my tattoo. In most cases, employers can legally refuse to hire people with visible tattoos, or they can require as a condition of employment that they be covered while you're at work. I think it's a very simple solution. Another option would be any visible tattoo showing must be tasteful. No vulgar or lewd tattoos will be visible. I think that's more than fair. We understand that this is your business and reputation and that those are your concerns. The belief that an employee will be taken seriously by tradition-minded clients is a worry. Another concern is that the organization's brand or image might be compromised by outlandish tattoos. And another concern is that the person's body art could be perceived as hostile to a coworker or a customer. All valid worries for an employer. However, I think that tattoos should be recognized just as ethnicity, religion, and even sexual orientation are considered as a form of diversity in the workplace. A change is coming, and it will just take time and acceptance. A new study shows that the perception of tattoos in the workplace has changed so much that even a visible tattoo is not linked to individual employment, wages, or earning discrimination. Specifically, the study found wages and annual earnings of tattooed employees were statistically indistinguishable from those without them. So this tells us that the change is coming, but it's still just going to take time. Now, let's review what we've learned here today. What we've learned today is that if we don't make a change, nothing will change. And that tattoos should be openly accepted in the workplace. We learned today that tattoos have history and meaning, that having a tattoo doesn't change one's intelligence or abilities to perform a job, and that tattoos should be treated as another type of workplace diversity. So I ask you this, do you want to be a part of the change? Because that change is coming, and I hope that you'll participate in being a part of the change. I work in an office setting every day. I'm a higher up manager for my company, and I have tattoos. Both of my legs are covered. I have tattoos on my back. But there's a time and a place for them, and they're accepted in my workplace, and it doesn't make me any less capable of doing my job. So I hope everybody will think about that today, and in the future, think about diversity in the workplace for tattoos. Thank you.